And the rest of the elect out there, shalom to you all. I'm going to entitle this video, let's see where the Spirit takes me on this one. I haven't even watched the whole thing. Watched a couple of minutes of it, so I said let me make a video. I'm going to title this video, The Most High's Truth is Not in a Theological Seminary. So this right here is from put up by Holy Bible Defenders, response Abu Kamar, Divine Prospect, and the Israelite College Quick Degrees. You can't get the Holy, you're not going to get the whole, in order for you, excuse me for mumbling, in order for you to get the Holy Spirit, you cannot get it from a theological seminary. It has to come from the Father. The Father has to choose you. And he draws you into this. So I'm just going to let it play. I don't know how much I'm going to say on this. Anything pops in my head, any precepts, I'll bring them out.
But I just want to read the caption to you really quickly. It says, peace and shalom, family. Today is a milestone for Divine Prospect after receiving his doctorate in theology at his graduation ceremony. So apparently this picture is at his graduation ceremony.
Look like
and
background, so.
It says he accepted the offer to continue his education because the institute he enrolled in was accredited, owned, and operated by Hebrew Israelites. I thought that was interesting to say that it's accredited by Hebrew Israelites. That seems to line up with Rehoboth International Bible College and the Hebrew Institute International that vocab discussed just last night. You know, both of those were unaccredited. I think the institute that vocab looked at last night described itself as self-accredited, and that seems to be the same thing here. Whatever the case, this institution that Divine Prospect received his doctorate from is accredited by Hebrew Israelites, which seems to mean it's not accredited. Then it goes on to say, referring to Divine Prospect, it says he was selected to be the first recipient of their doctorate degree. So as of, this post is from June of 2021, so at the time, Ron Shields was the only person to receive a doctorate from this particular school. And then it goes on to say, although he never asked for this title, he...
Think of the name. I guess that's his government name.
Submitted diligently to Psalm 75, 5-6, so he can use his degree to open up additional doors of opportunities for our community. He says if he can do it, anyone can. Although he has taken some time away from social media to finish up his studies, he will be back with a vengeance, teaching and sharing content. Please join us in congratulating him. All praises to the Most High. And there he is with his degree. There's the first comment is an interesting one. It says, what's the name of this school? I couldn't make it out. So you may have noticed that's a good question, because in the text of the caption, the name of the school that gave him his doctorate is never mentioned. Nonetheless, his dissertation is on academia.edu, and I'll share a link to this as well in the video description. But I wanted to go over this really quickly. First things you might notice is that this is 4 pages long. However, it's a draft. Nonetheless, the title, it says THD, or Doctorate of Theology Dissertation, Why a Cultural Orientation of the Ancient Israelite People is Necessary for Proper Exegesis of the Hebrew Bible. And again, draft, hence why it's only 4 pages.
Yeah, for the ones
so let's look at
exegesis, eisegesis. Exegesis means taking a verse and breaking it down. Whereas eisegesis is just reading the verse. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But they use that, they throw those two terms around, exegesis and eisegesis. So look it up.
Look at the text of that really quickly. And there's the title. Some might have questions about the capitalization in the title of his dissertation, but whatever the case, the title is Why a Cultural Orientation of the Ancient Israelite People is Necessary for Proper Exegesis of the Hebrew Bible by Ron Shields, right? A dissertation submitted in partial fulfillment in accordance with the requirements of the degree of Doctorate of Theology in the subject of theological studies at the redacted. He redacted the name of the institution. He blacked.
Well, what are you trying to hide? And he's from Atlanta. Yeah, the Most High is not dealing with Divine Prospect. You know, we don't know his background. He came out of nowhere in the midst of the so-called black conscious community and all that, the debates and so forth.
Acted out. But nonetheless, here's his declaration. I, Ronald Shields, hereby
declare. At John Jay in New York, in Manhattan, and I think he was studying criminal law or something like that. And he just decided to go read the Bible. I heard him say that in one video. This is talking about 2013, 14, when he came around. He had all those big debates. That was 2013, 14, 15.
Declare that this dissertation, why ancient Israelite cultural orientation is necessary for proper exegesis of the Hebrew Bible, is submitted in accordance with the requirements of the Doctor of Theology degree at the, again, the name of the institution is redacted. It's blacked out. But he received his doctorate by June of the following year. So the doctorate, the dissertation was apparently in a draft stage in May of 2021, but then he received his doctorate a month later, according to his Instagram post.
And the prophetic books, because none of these guys know anything about the prophetic. They get stupid when it comes to these prophetic books in the scriptures.
So this is it's actually a week, because if you think about it, it's the Instagram post went up on the 7th of June 2021, and this was in a draft stage on the 31st of May 2021. So from the 31st of May to the 7th of June, that's actually only a week. But as for the text that he redacted, that's quite interesting. So I'd like to go back to his Instagram post, because he shows the degree. And if you look closely, it says, and forgive me if this is a bit blurry, but it says the Hebraic Institute of Theology. That's his degree there. That's quite interesting. So at least there you can see the name of the institute, you know, the institution that gave him his doctorate, which he strangely didn't mention in the caption of his Instagram post.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yah.
See what's said here.
Hawa Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Recha HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to the other elders, you brethren, you fellow believers of this truth, you supporters of this truth, which includes you brothers and sisters. Shalom to the hopefully elect, peace to the elect. So, anyway, this video was made by this man. He comes against the Israelites with vocab. His name is Abu Kamar. He's had a thing with GMS. I remember the voice. And
well, he actually came down to camp. He wasn't. You know, he didn't say who he was. He didn't say, "Oh, by the way, I'm Abu Kamar." But he was battling with us when we first got on YouTube. I believe the end of 2007, 2008. Then about 8 years later, Vocab came on the scene. But this guy's been going back and forth with us. Matter of fact, the first time we went back and forth with this guy, it was Apostle Gabon, Apostle Ricard. Apostle Ramlock. It was them two. I was going back and forth with this guy until about 5 in the morning. You know, he's throwing stuff out, and them two were throwing stuff back at him. Then come to find out, Vocab Malone came on the scene, and come to find out that they worked together. As a matter of fact, it was what's his name? Abu Kamar that told this guy Vocab exactly where we are. And anyway, so they set up to try to come against the bunk, this true doctrine. And this guy's no different. Divine Prospect, he's not a part of us. Whatever he knows, he got it from some degree, Hebraic, whatever. I mean, anybody can do that.
Guys to go into the Hebrew Israelite community.
And you don't need a degree in order to be a teacher out there. Let me give you a precept. You should already know where I'm going to go. You might have other scriptures in mind, but this is the one that came to mind. And I'll read it in the King James and also the NLT and maybe even a couple more translations. Okay, let me do this. Okay, you know, we can start at the 18th verse. 1 Corinthians 1 verse 18, the wisdom of the Most High. And this is goes back to Isaiah. Matter of fact, I'll read that, Isaiah 29 and 14. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, the Israelites, even a marvelous work, and a wonder, for the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. Like the wise and prudent men of the Messiah's time were the wicked scribes and Pharisees that kept saying, we sit in Moses' seat. Yes, they did sit in Moses' seat, but the Most High wasn't dealing with them. So it says, 18th verse, for the preaching of the cross, which means the preaching of Yahushua dying on the cross and resurrecting, is of them that perish, foolishness. The them that perish are the ones that didn't believe and they wound up dying. It says, for the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness. The ones that didn't accept the Messiah, they said that all this is foolishness, that he's not the Messiah. And then they mocked him when he was on the cross. He saved others. Why can't he save himself? But unto us, which are saved, it is the power of the Most High. Reading on. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise. Who's the wise? Esau and their schools. That's why when you go to the chat GPT, and I'll ask a question, Revelation 18, what's the GMS Israelites take on Revelation 18, for example. And they'll say that this is their view on Revelation 18, and this does not reflect the views of chat or any of these scholars or Christianity, because they don't recognize us. The scholars, you know, they don't recognize what we teach, or we don't recognize what you teach. You can say we're wrong, and we're saying that you're wrong, and ultimately we're going to be justified as to what we're saying. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent, the smart ones. Now this guy, Divine, would fit in this category. Because his information, he regurgitates his information from what he learned. But he's suspect since he redacted the actual name of the theological seminary, or cemetery, let's say. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? A scribe is a writer, a divine writer. Where is the disputer of this world? Have not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. Right, by wisdom, you're not going to learn about Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in any theological cemetery. It pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. You got all these people popping up, these Israelites, these Jakes, talking about, you ain't no Hebrew Israelites. The small hats are the Hebrew Israelites. And you guys are embarrassing, and you don't act right, and you speak too loud, and you do this, and you don't do that, and plus Jesus is a white man. And you going off when you said the white man going into captivity. So to them, we are looking like fools. And they even got comedians making mockery of us. And all them comedians, that including Big Head Drewski, he gonna catch a nuclear warhead. For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks, which are the Israelites that don't believe in the Messiah, don't believe in rose up to be a Israelite, like Cornelius. He found out he was an Israelite later in life. The Jews are the Israelites that were back there during the Messiah's time, whether they believe in the Messiah or not. It said the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seeketh after wisdom. The Greek seeketh after wisdom. A precept that comes to mind is Acts chapter 17, when Paul encountered the men of Athens, which were Jakes. That was the black conscious community at that time. But we preach the Messiah crucified unto the Jews a stumbling block, because they're saying he's not the Messiah. And that's why he wound up dying anyway. I thought he was supposed to be the Messiah. And unto the Greeks, foolishness. It's foolishness to an Israelite that doesn't know he's an Israelite. Now the 7 used to say that's talking about Esau. The Greeks here are referring to Israelites that don't know that they're Israelites. But a lot of them are waking up. You can read Acts, Acts 13 and 40 on down. You read that whole chapter. But unto them which are called both Israelites and Greeks, meaning Israelites. Cornelius is the main example. The Messiah, the power of the Most High, and the wisdom of the Most High, or the Father, because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than men, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, guys that went to a theological seminary or cemetery. Divine Prospect is not one of the elect. He's not going to make it unless he is one of the elect, because the garbage that he spews is theological. He regurgitates that theological bullshit. You know, I doubt if they even taught him about Esau, the Edomites. I doubt vocab, they covered the Edomites, the importance of the Edomites. Who are the Edomites? Who can they be today? See, a lot of stuff that vocab throws at you is stuff that he watched us and learned from us, and learned scriptures, and, you know, spiritually flipped the scriptures around, twisted the scriptures. I guarantee you there's no, you know, whether you spend 4 years in theological seminary school or 8 years, you get your master's, your whatever, your doctorate. I'm positive that there's no deep course on Edomites. All about the Edomites. They learned that from us. And certainly they didn't, if they spoke anything about Edomites, they didn't say that the descendants of the Edomites are the so-called white people today. And they don't equate it to Rome. The small hats, the rabbis among the small hats, the historians, they say that ancient Rome were the Edomites. The Romans were the descendants of Edom, and America is the new Edom. And America's going to be, Edom, the new Edom, is going to be destroyed. Not many noble, right, are called. Let me read it again. For ye see your calling, you see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, guys with these degrees, not many mighty men. Mike Tyson is not going to hold posts. Different fighters or athletes, unless they get out of that particular sport and they were not that famous. Most times not going to bring a famous person The Most High is not going to convert Jay-Z to be an Israelite. He in the camp. Because everybody come to watch Jay-Z speak. Jay-Z. What's this guy? Denzel Washington is not going to say, I want to join the camp. He ain't going to get no fringes in a garment and hold pose and read. He's not going to do it. Because all the attention will be on him and not on the truth. Now, just recently, as of about a year ago, Denzel in a church in Harlem, he got baptized and he got a certificate to preach the word, to preach the name of Jesus. Now, when he got baptized, right behind him was a big picture, wall painting, I would say. It's supposed to be so-called Jesus Christ and so-called John the Baptist and so-called Jesus being anointed or baptized. Now, this is a church, mind you, in Harlem. Why do they have two white guys playing the Messiah and John? Name me one white church in the Bible Belt where you go up in there and you see a black. You ain't gonna see it. You ain't gonna see a black Christ. So did not Denzel question that? Obviously no. It says, but the Most High, the Father, have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, regular Joes. And the Father have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And the base things of the world, we're base things. Base meaning you're on the bottom. I'm going to look that word up in the Greek. So the Most High is dealing with the base things of the world, and things which are hated have the Most High chosen, and things that are not, to bring to nothing, to not things that are. Now let me get in. I'm finished with that. Let me go on the word base. And base things of the world, and things which are hated hath the Most High chosen. Base things. Let's see what the word is. G36. Okay, let me do this. No, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Bring this back. Bring this back. Let me close this. Base things.
Strong's G36, agenes, agenes.
Ignoble, not noble. Coward. So the Most High chose a coward. So, hey, wait a minute, that was a cut on ISBK. They said no cowards. So the Most High ain't dealing with you. He's dealing with the cowards. Mean base of no family that is low born. It's only here one time. One time. Let me go ahead and do this. First letter of the Greek alphabet, which is alpha. Let's see what this is. Genos, is it? Genos?
Strong's G 1085. Genos.
Which goes
Genos.
back to gene. Offspring, family, stock. born. So the base things represent regular guys. Hey, the original disciples, minus the Apostle Paul, from Peter, James, John, James, Jude, and Jude, there was 2 Judes, Bartholomew, Thomas, Philip, Matthew, the publican. These were all none of the 12, the original 12, were high priests that sat in Moses' seat. They were lowly. They were not honorable men. They were regular working guys. They were fishermen. Some of them were fishermen. Yahushua he's considered common because his father was a carpenter. So this going to a theological seminary don't mean a motherfucking thing to us. We don't recognize you. I have a degree, and I said we don't recognize your degrees. Point blank period. We don't recognize your degrees. Something's rotten in Denmark, as they say.
Get on Israelites for trying to school themselves and educate themselves and get degrees. Now I'm gonna jump a little.
I don't know how much he knows, but I'm positive if you ask him to go to, Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, I go down the line. What's the roll together like a scroll? What's that talking about? What does it mean, come down upon Idumea? Or Isaiah 14, 1 and 2, what does that mean? Revelation 13, 9 and 10, what does that mean? Revelation 18, when it speaks about the downfall of the total imminent destruction of Babylon the Great, what is that talking about? Verse for verse. He doesn't know, or maybe he does know. And he's told not to teach the truth. So he's not, as it stands, with that diploma that he proudly holds with Bell's Winky on his neck, a fucking tie. We don't recognize that dude. And we know he don't have the truth, and we know, as it stands, he's not one of the elect. And he's not doing the will of the Most High. He's doing his own thing. Like Heavy D, we got our own thing. He's doing his own thing. And you guys out there, you Israelites that follow people like that, you're not of the elect. Read John 10 from the first verse on down. Read a couple of verses down. Read the whole chapter.
Bit because this is a twofold kind of video. With this man, divine prospect named Ron Shields, aka Ron Shields, what he've learned, we're far more superior in studies than this guy, right? And I'm not saying he's not a good person that studies well, learns
he
well.
He can write a book about the Bible, but he's not one of the elect as it stands. Okay, he got to tear that diploma up. That the diploma to us is toilet paper. Don't mean shit.
This information is not correct. And now this guy Abu, he's getting on Hebrew Israelites for self-education, making their own schools and so forth and so on. Now, last time I looked, T.D. Jakes took 3 years to get a doctor's degree in theology. Right? I looked up something, and I'll show you before I go to the rest. The fastest doctorate in theology online with programs with Northwestern Theology Seminary claiming you can finish in under 90 days. Yeah. Okay. There's no way you learn about.
He gets a degree in theology in 90 days. He roll up on a major Hebrew Israelite camp. He gonna get mollywopped in the spirit.
Bible in 90 days. There's just no way, right? I'm talking about on higher levels. And when you look at these theological seminaries.
No, it's cemeteries. That's the word, brother. We call them cemeteries. They call them seminaries. We call them cemeteries. Because that's the place of the dead.
As Apostle Tahar called them, cemeteries. They teach you one platform in the scriptures. And then they teach you that the Old Testament was just the Old Testament and Jesus came and everything just changed.
When you go to the majority of the prophecies is in the Old Testament. So you mean to tell me all those Old Testament prophetic books are not going to take place, come to pass? Or they'll say, "Oh, they already came to pass." That shows you don't. The Spirit is not dealing with you. We don't recognize you. You nobody to us.
Although things that happened in the Old Testament is coming back and happening again, and has happened. You know what I'm saying? Since the New Testament. So we're also going to go now and get some background. I just wanted to touch on that. This video is really on Divine Prospect. Well, let's go to his Facebook account. That he said he got his doctor's degree. Somebody said that's an honorary degree that was given to him, not an actual degree.
Nor do he pose. Honorary is still toilet paper.
As a doctor, it's an award given to him for the work for his studies he's done in the community. This is the same man that says the small hats can marry black women, right under their agenda.
All fucked up. He's all fucked up. But guess who teamed up? Is teamed up with him. You guess it, Genesis. Those two wild and crazy guys. I had to throw that in there.
Yeah. So-called black woman. Many people receive them from all backgrounds, even scholars. So this post is trying to make claim that no one's making first of all and just silly. So when you really look at a lot of these guys, they're not prophets. They may consider themselves scholars, which goes to students, educated students, but they're not prophets. What does the Bible say about the prophets? Amos 3:7. Surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he will reveal his secrets unto his servant, his secret unto his servants, the prophets. That's what the prophets is, you know. The prophets are going to get the Lord's secrets. Only the scholars can go into some form of history and bring some understanding on certain
about prophecy.
Things and how things went according to detail in history. But they can't tell you prophetic events and how these things line up from the past to the future. That's why when you go into these scholarly commentators, they would say probably, it seems to, maybe. This is what they do. They don't say for sure like we say. We say for sure in Revelation 13 the mark of the beast and what it is and how you'll be branded, right? We say for sure that is the micro chip. I guess we could say that, right? We say the micro ingrained. You know what I'm saying? We say it's for sure. That's what it for sure is. You know? So now let's go get some credibility. See what's credible about this Hebraic school. Let's see what AI says first. I'm gonna read a little bit. Let me go here. Divine Prospect is the ministerial name used by Ron Shields, a prominent figure of the educator within the Hebrew Israelite community. It says his education and ministerial background include the following: ministerial beginnings, affiliate academies, collaborations, public ministry. We're not going to read all that. It's not documented in the public records, but now as a disclaimer, I can't say this information is 100% true or not. I'm just bringing you the information, and you can make the determination yourself, right? It says the Hebraic Institute, an educational organization that launched new certification tracks in January 25th, 2025. I'm just going to get to more of the points. The Hebraic Institute found, now they say this was a black-only school. The man that they said ran it was Charles, I can't remember, Charles something.
Charles Russell.
I can't remember. What they did is set a Jake up. Yeah, I can't remember. What they did is set a Jake up. His name was Charles something, and Charles Stewart, right here, right. The Institute heavily influenced by leadership founders. So what they did is they said a so-called black man. I had his picture. Of course, the tube took it down. I don't know what happened to it, but I had his picture, and he was a Jake and supposed to have been the leader of this school. So, you know, it seems like they fund the school and they search certain people up to lead the school and say they're the owners and like the CEOs. And I know how these small hats get down. They do that in Lionsgate and various other entertainment companies. Sony, they'll have some Arab person running it and saying they're the CEO of the founder and CEO.
Like to play behind the scenes like the Rothschilds.
Of such and such, but you'll see one of them right beside them funding them, and they got those contracts, right? That's who probably got Genesis, TCG, whatever ministries they got, right? We know who's going to fund them. Anyway, let's get back to what I was getting at. It was then it has been reported Pursue certification in 2025 is a ministry school founded and led by Rabbi Freeland, and it's a woman with him too. Let me see. I think I showed you the picture. Where's that picture at? Yes. The Hebraic Institute was founded by Jeff and Sherry Freelander. Yeah,
So
this is who you see here.
Up under the Edomites, man. He's an agent for the Edomites.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I'm going to save this image so I can upload it. I don't know how true this is, but it says right here, this seems like a legitimate source, and obviously it's the same page, and right up here in this same page, this is what it says, and then right up here it says Divine Prospect.
Homeboy was set up, bro.
So they're the founders of it. So where did everybody get this? This is some black school for black people, and so all we see is what Esau always does, right? Like when they did the slave Bible and they did various other things in even our Bible today, traditionally, how these scholars and these Hebraic scholars, so to speak, reinstituted certain words and put them in the Bible and took out certain things and made things seem like it was universalism. Like that Isaiah 46 when it talks about you shall be a light, wake up the lineages of Israel, and she'll be a light to the Gentiles, and go and be a light to the Gentiles or whatever.
Light to the Gentiles, light to the Israelites scattered.
Wake up the tribes of Jacob and be a light unto the Gentiles, according to their terminologies. And this is why I always go into older Bibles. It cuts all of that. But this is their terminologies of how things are supposed to work. And they did this to us during slavery. But meanwhile, this guy Abu talks about how we mix it up and we founded our own stuff. We're just trying to find our way back. But the way back is through the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua. But meanwhile, all these, during the 15th century, right, when they had these reformations, and John Calvin, the demon he was, and Martin Luther and everybody else, and the things they did, they didn't know Latin, right? So they learned that, and then over time words changed. Then they start turning into other things, and this is why you'll see God so loved the world. You know what I'm saying? And that world has 17 different definitions or something like that. So you had to know the original text.
Yeah. 3 off the top of the head. When you go to the word world, John 3:16, you got the word. You got world, cosmos, world, oikomene, world, eon. You got the earth, gay or geo. Like if you go to Revelation 3 verse 10, it says the whole world will be tested. The word there is oikomene, which means the inhabited earth. Then it says the earth, and that right there says the geo, the whole world.
Never really said that. So you can make the assumption that if through time, if words continue to change. Let me get another example. I brought this out at camp. This is very interesting. And as I said, the wisdom of this world, 1 Corinthians 3:19, for the wisdom of this world is foolish with Yahweh. So if you bear with me, watch what this say. And some of you probably saw the lesson before in Romans 11:11. This is what they said.
All right.
I say then.
Romans 11 now. Genesis teaches that Romans 11, the wild olive tree being grafted in on the other nations. That shows you clearly that these guys sold out. All of a sudden, divine prospect pops out of nowhere, and he's working with these guys. As they say, you can buy a ninja cheap.
And have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles to provoke them to jealousy. Now, when you go up here, it says, and transgression, salvation has come to Gentiles to make Israel envious, right? But what did it mean by making Israel envious? It wasn't talking about just throwing, now he gave it to the other nations. But this is what they teach. So what I'm going to do, like what I like to do, is go into the older Bibles. I like bringing this out because that's not absolutely incorrect, but the way it's worded and the way things sounded was totally different. So we're going to go to the not the Matthew Bible, the Great Bible. Let's see what Bible this is. We're going to go to Romans 11, right? And this is how things and translation change, and how these Christian scholars or these Hebraic scholars, they'll switch things. Like in Deuteronomy 28:68, when they said you should offer yourselves up to people. None of the older Bibles ever said that. But nobody shall buy you. I never heard a time in history that people was up for sale and nobody bought them.
It never happened in history where a nation of people went to another group of people and said, we're for sale. That never happened on this planet Earth ever. And they'll say it, and they won't bring out, they'll say, well, the Syrian at captivity. King Hoshea never said, oh, we're going to give ourselves up. We're trying to sell ourselves to the Syrians. It's the Assyrians that took them by force, the northern kingdom. It was the Babylonians that took the kingdom of Judah by force. It was the Romans that took us by force. We didn't go to the Romans and say we for sale. Ain't no nation gonna do that. That's why we don't want it. That's why I say call the cops on them, because they're people they're no different than people that escaped out of the crazy house. God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, they're one person. Well, where was the Father when Jesus was on the earth? The Father was in Jesus' body, So who raised him from the dead? The Father? So he raised himself? Yes. Why did he cry, oh, my Father, my Father? You dealing with crazy people here. That's the topic. You're dealing with crazy people here. I see crazy people.
What is the craziest thing I ever heard?
Christianity is the craziest religion on the planet Earth.
Anyway, Romans 11:11. I say then, have they therefore stumbled, that they should utterly fall away together? God forbid. But through their fall, salvation happened unto the Gentiles, right? For to broke them with all. Okay, so that's, but it didn't say to jealousy, right? But let's go to the, I'm on the Great Bible. Let's go to the Coverdale Bible. Let's see what it says here. Right here, Cloverdale Bible. I say, have they therefore stumbled, yet they should clear, fall to naught. God forbid, but through their fall, salvation happened to ye heathen. See, that word Gentile wasn't even there when you go further back. And how were we heathens?
Israelite, Gentile Israelites, like Cornelius.
Even going back to Antiochus.
Scripture is Acts 13, and really the whole chapter, Acts 13, but you can start at 40 and read down. It said how the Jews were, I think the word was envious of the Gentiles that received the word from Paul. Those Gentiles were Israelites. It's not that hard.
Right? Clearly we heathen men even before then. If you look in the back in the Exodus, it says, thou shalt have no other God beside me. Anyway, to the heathen, that he might provoke them to be zealous after him. Right. So it says here, God forbid, through their fall, salvation has happened unto the heathen. So somehow they made the separation, and when it said heathen, that was talking about totally different nations. But through their fall, it was the Israelites, and that's why you had the Jew and you had the Gentile. And you had Jews that believed they were Jews, but they weren't all believers. You know, they was only considered believers because they believed in the practice of the laws. But they wasn't believe. There was Jews that didn't believe in the Messiah. Right? So it never really said provoke them to be jealous after them. It provoked them to be zealous after them, meaning to have a zeal. Anyway, I want to get back here. I just want to show you how translations, when everybody see that word Gentile and jealousy, they make that seem like.
But the book is, the Bible itself is a stumbling block. That's another topic. The Bible itself is a stumbling block. When you go to Romans 11:7 on down in the 9th verse. When you go to Peter, 2 Peter 3 verse, you can start the 15 verse, 15, 16 verse, 17 verse, around there. A lot of people get trapped in this book. The Spirit has to be working with you and give you the Holy Spirit, the Comforter, so you can know all things, pursuant to what the Messiah said in St. John chapter 14. Spoke about it also in St. John chapter 16. Anyway, let me come over here. Where am I? Okay, let's try this. Changing gears.
My son, it is time.
I think there's a deeper reason why, people of color and specifically the Black community have been relentlessly persecuted. Just the things that happened during slavery alone, were insane. But I don't know, the more I learn about Black history and the ways that, people who literally worked in the government, like the CIA, all these different people in power were trying to ruin the Black community. And it makes me think, dude, I feel like, is there something more going on here than just racism? Because it's like, come on, you're telling me you're doing all of this stuff just because you don't like someone's skin color? I feel like, what if, I have this theory that, like, what if black people have some type of superpower? Like, what if they have, I don't know, if they're just born with something very valuable that we don't really know about, but maybe, you know, like I said, these people, these rich people and these people in power, maybe they figured it out a long time ago, and maybe that's
vibranium. The vibranium is in us. We are superheroes, and the Most High is going to tap that spirit and give us that power back again, and we're gonna fuck people up.
That's why they were like, oh, we have to like get rid of them, blah blah blah. I don't know. I feel like maybe they have something special that we are not taught about, that is linked to them being people of color, you know? I have this theory that this goes so much deeper than maybe a lot of us realize, because I'm sorry, but I don't think you're gonna go out of your way for all these hundreds and hundreds of years to try to ruin one group of people over something as silly as, oh, their skin is a different color. Like, I feel like there's some
deeper. There's a spiritual thing. There's a spiritual warfare.
thing that we don't know.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Racha Hakwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to your the elders, your brother and your father.
28:68, throwing us off the ship. They gonna pay daily. They gonna pay daily.
All believers of the truth. Shalom to you, sisters. Shalom to the elect. So, anyway, I got this video off of TikTok. It was interesting. I want to read some comments, but this woman I posted as saying is a white woman, but she looks almost Native American, Northern tribe, right? She could even be Judah. I have a niece that looks similar to her complexion. You can see the nose and the lips, the eyes. Well, she could be Caucasian. I don't know. But, you know, a lot of you Israelites, you tend to think that all Israelites are going to look like Shaquille O'Neal. They're going to look black. You know what I'm saying? They're all going to be just very dark-skinned people. You know, they're going to be like Shaq, and then, you know, other people who are very, very dark-skinned. They're all going to look like Mary J., which she's not that dark, but, you know, everybody think everybody's going to be a very dark brown complexion. So Israelites will look like her. She can even be an Israelite. To me, it seems to be one. But anyway, just for the sake of the video, we'll just say a white woman at the moment.
What's up with these black people? It got to be deeper than skin color. Do they have some type of superpower? Yes. We're the Israelites. We are the powers of the earth, the gods.
Which nobody's white. Okay, so we're going to go to the comments. Where's the comments? This was uploaded by, this called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans are God's chosen people. And yeah, I get some of these comments too, by the way, but I ignore them. But this one says, also, what if there's like Caucasian people trying to spread light on black people, black people's truth? There's too much of that giving strength to so-called Caucasian people. This is a spiritual thing by the Heavenly Father. And nothing can stop. There's no weapon formed against thee that shall prosper against the men of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Doing the Lord's work. But and that's what we see. We see people.
The gates of hell shall not prevail.
They just push that narrative of what if the white people, the Caucasian people, and it's about the Israelites and the non-Israelites, and the Israelites, Jacob, and then the Edomites, right? But they're being spiritually attacked on those races, while people that passed on already.
You know, when people started to find out, to talk about have discussions on Edom, it's when GMS got on YouTube, because Nate, when he was on YouTube in 2006, he wasn't talking about, he wasn't going deep. People started finding out about Edomites, Jakes, and Israelites, and so forth, and we the people, and Edomites, so-called Europeans are the sons of the Edomites. They didn't know that in prior to YouTube. They didn't know that. 2004, 2005, YouTube came on the scene. So prior to 2005, 2004, 2003, 2000, nobody knew about it. It was an Edomite. Now all you devils know that you're Edomites, or most of you.
Israel is not a mixed bloodline. The Bible spends more time than not carefully pointing out lineage one generation after the other. So a lot of people in this video, they have a problem with Native Americans being Israelites, which this woman could be, the white-looking woman. Only black. Joel chapter 3, Judah is the only one that is scattered. Yeah. Okay, real quick, let's go to the book of Hosea. We've dealt with them black-only Israelites. They come up to our camp, and through the Spirit of the Lord, they got torched. Then one of them came back to hear more edification. I believe he converted. I don't know. Anyway, Hosea 1 and 10. Yet the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass in a place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, which Paul quoted this in the book of Romans, Church of Rome. There it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. But then it goes on to say, then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head. Okay, that's what it says here. Now we know, going to the time of Shalmaneser out of the Syrian Empire, the northern tribe.
Now, he just got me going. Let me go back to the chat. I want to go to Hosea. Hosea. Let me copy this so I can paste it. What the hell? Wait a minute. There we go. Basic information before leaving Earth. What's the GMS Israelites' take on Hosea 1 verse 10? Let's just see what they say. In the place, I want the place. GMS Great Millstone Israelites read Hosea 1 verse 10 very literally and tie it directly to their core identity teaching. Accepting the blessings, knowing that you won't get the blessing of the Bible, is based upon you as an identity. Ethnicity. Hosea 1 verse 10, paraphrase: Israel, once called not my people, will become innumerable and later be called sons of the living God. Why didn't you put the King James? Stop playing. GMS interpretation. In short, GMS, after this I'm going to close. And I encourage you to watch the rest of the video that the elder put up. GMS teaches that this verse is about ethnic Israel only. They believe Hosea 1 and 10 refers exclusively to the 12 tribes of Israel, not to humanity in general, or to non-Israelite Gentiles. Not my people, Israeli captivity. GMS says this describes Israel after being scattered, conquered, renamed, Negro, Western and Puerto Rican, Haitian, Dominican, Brazilian. What's the name of the people of Suriname, the Majakes. You got a lot of people a lot of Jakes in France and Dutch, Germany. It says stripped of their identity, especially during and after Syrian, Babylonian, later transatlantic slavery. Numbered as the sand of the sea. Now they didn't say place. I'm gonna ask that question. Massive population growth in exile. Massive population growth in exile. They say, according to their records, that 12% of the population, Jake represents 12% of the population, which is about 50 million. I believe it's a lot more. But let's deal with Issachar. Let's deal with Gad. Let's deal with Reuben. Let's deal with the rest of the tribes. Let's deal with the tribes all around the world. There's more Israelites on the planet than any other nation. There's got to be 2-3 billion of us, or even more, 4 billion. Sand of the seas. And you can't stop this train. Massive population growth in exile. They connect this to Israelites multiplying heavily, and because this guy, what the hell is this guy's name? In the movie True Romance, with what's his name? What the hell is his name? Hurley. He goes to see the guy's father. I forget his. If you haven't seen the movie True Romance, you got to go see that movie. You got to go see that Quentin Tarantino joint. So in the movie, the mob, they go to the guy's father. Clarence Hurley. Yeah, Clarence Hurley sounds like a nigga name to me. So they went to the guy. He was a security guard. The mob went over there. And the guy, he opened up on him, man. He said that the Sicilians are niggas. The Sicilians are niggas. It says they connect this to Israelites multiplying heavenly. And he said this. He said the Southern Italians were blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Scandinavian looking. And he said when the Moors got down there, he said they did so much fucking that they changed the face of the country. Yeah, man. Because them Sicilians, them Southern Italians, they be looking like Dominicans, they be looking like Jake, they be looking like Gad. Them old spaghetti westerns, which was filmed in Italy, they had the Gadites look like real Gad. They were Sicilians. Southern Italians, not Sicily. Not just Sicily. Napolitan, Naples, Calabrese, Sardinia. Just to name a few. Go to a map of Italy and look at the southern part. That's Jake. And then Jake was all up in the north too, in Rome. They put their seed in a lot of Edomite women in Rome. Got a lot of Israelite babies left in Rome that they think they're white people. We do have superpowers. We can multiply like rabbits. Number as the sand of the sea. Massive population growth in exile. They connect this. Why do you think they have a thing, Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood to have black women that are pregnant to kill their babies? Oh, you can't make money. Your man left you, this, that, and the third. And a nigga woman to go get an abortion like it's nothing. You know, like she's going to the store to buy a loaf of bread. She'll get the baby taken out. That's why these nigga women gonna get kicked in the head. I told you, we don't need you nigger women to bring back the nation. We can bring back the nation with Edomites. We can get a whole bunch of women from Sweden and pop them and bring back the Israelites. They connect this to Israelites multiplying heavily among the nations, right? Anywhere they go, they leave their seed. When Jake, Gad, Reuben, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, some of them Latin tribes, when they went to war in different places around the world, they left their seed there. They said they connect this to Israelites multiplying heavily among the nations, particularly in the Americas. And that place is America, Caribbean, and Europe. You know how many Jakes look like Edomites in Europe? Fulfilled today in so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. GMS teaches that these groups are the modern descendants of biblical Israel. And Hosea 1 and 10 is proof that Israelites would forget who they are. They did forget who they were. That's in the Apocrypha. Baruch, what is that? Baruch 2 and 30. In the land of their captivity, they shall remember themselves. You shall not be reckoned by the nations. Numbers 23 verse 9 on down. Later be awakened and call the sons of the living God. In the place, singular. Noun. Person, place, or thing. America is a noun. Oh, well, this country is a noun. America will make it a pronoun. A pronoun, not a spiritual Israel passage. They strongly reject Christian interpretations that apply this verse to the church converts of any ethnicity. That's the bullshit that vocab pulls up, that replacement theology crapola. Y'all are already lost, man. For GMS, the prophecy is racial, national, and literal, not symbolic. One sentence GMS summary. Hosea 1 and 10 proves that Israelites would be scattered, lost their identity or lose their identity, multiply among the nations, and later be revealed again as the Most High's chosen people. In the place is America. The place is America, not fucking Africa. Nate going over there to Africa talking about we got to wake them people. They ain't waking up, man. If you want, I can also explain how mainstream Christianity reads this verse. They're going to waste of time. How Paul uses Hosea in Romans, right? Romans 9. Or where GMS differs from other Hebrew Israelite groups. Well, we got the truth. If they differ with their take, then they're off. Anyway, shalom, on to the next.